Hello everyone. Today I'm going to create a news application using the news API that is provided by some services. You can find these sort of services on internet. So there's one for news, and you can similarly find an API service for weather, which gives you all the information regarding like what temperature is there in which city. So a similar service is there for news. It's called News API. So this is it. So we are going to create an application using React, which basically fetches the news from this API and then displays it in the application that we are going to create. So it's going to be a web application which displays all these news. So for example, Bitcoin, if you want to have a news related to Bitcoin, then yeah, this is the way how I should get the news. This basically returns the author, title, description, the image, and like all these other kind of things. You can go there and check if you'd like to copy this application later on. So yeah, let me start creating the React application. So I have an empty projects folder. Inside this empty projects folder, now I'm going to use a node package called create react app. So you can have a look at this package here, npmjs.com. Yeah, so it will search create react app. Oh, okay. It should have come. Yeah, so this one. This is the package that you can download and install globally if you'd like to create React packages like how I am going to do now. So I've already installed it in my system, so I don't need to do that again. So if I'll type create React app, so this is already available. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a new application, brand new thing inside this projects folder. So I'm inside projects folder already. This is an empty folder, nothing is inside it. I'm going to create a new application. Yeah. Okay, so it gives the error that I cannot create the application because yeah, capital letters are not allowed in the folder name. So I'm going to rename it using hyphens. Yeah, so this create react app basically generates a new application with all the required things, which are like the base shell of the application is provided to you by this app. Once it creates the folder, this folder would have everything that you need to create a basic application, a basic React application inside it. Yeah, so it created this thing, my news application. So that is the name of our application. It makes the version. Now some more of the information would also be added, but once this thing is complete. Yeah, so awesome. So here are the scripts that it has generated. If we want to start the project, then we'll just have to do npm start, and in the background it will run this command. So this will enable our project to go live. If we want to build it and want to have the production build of it, then we'll just have to do npm build. So we'll see. This is easy stuff. So now my application is created. If I'll do npm start, then let's see what happens. Okay, something went wrong. So yeah, I'm not inside the folder right now. So I'll have to do cd my news application. Now again, clear. Now if I'll do npm start, it should start up our new application on port 3000, and here we go. Initially it takes some time to load the application, but that's fine. Till then, what I'll do is, so this is our news API website. So all you have to do is go here and generate an API key. Yeah, so this is my key. It's showing me the key already because I've generated it. But if you go here, then you have to just put your name and email address and it generates a new key for you. So I have this key here already with me, and here's the example on how to use this key. So for example, this is the key. So it's already showing me using my key right now. So it is 7E70 at the last, 7E70, yeah. So here's the API key that was generated for me. It's showing me all the examples with the API key already appended. Awesome. Nothing could have been better than this. Yeah, so let's see if our application is there. Great. Now we have the base application running. Now all that I need to do now is start creating the news website. Okay, so you don't need to open the console right now, but I have just opened it so to keep the track of if anything goes wrong in the midway. So yeah, let's close this. The application is running. Now let's go inside the source folder and see what's already there in index.js. So basically how this is working is your index.html is already generated and a root is there. So this root, a div is created with the ID root. Now this ID is used inside the index.js file. So react.render app inside where the root was there. So root was there inside index.html. So we are going to have our application injected inside where the root ID div was there. So whatever is here, this is going to be inserted inside the div, inside this div, inside this one. So all that is going to come here. So I guess if you have started to use React, you would already know this. So this is going to be our main focus, this app.js file. Now this is basically the starting point for us, and it already contains something. So for example, it contains logo and it contains a link to the React website if you want to study the documentation or learn something new about React. So here is this A and this anchor tag, this one, that is this is this line, and above that is the image. So this image is rotating because of this class. Now this class would certainly have the rotation for that, the animation for that. So yeah, here we go. Here's the animation. So it basically rotates 360 from 0. Yeah, you can look at how the animations work. If you don't know for now, that's fine. So we don't want this thing inside our app, right? I'm going to just comment it out or just remove it. So if I remove it, I'm not going to find anything. So it reloads. Now nothing is there. Nothing is there. So what do I need to do now? I want the news that was here, right? I don't want the React rotating logo. To get the news, I'll need to use a call called fetch. So if you search for fetch call, you can see the example in the Mozilla docs. This is usually the best documentation that is available for web resources. Start to use that if you want to become a good developer for React or front end in general. This doesn't provide any particular documentation for React, but for front end resources, this is excellent. Now this fetch call is not React specific. It just works fine it's provided by the browser and it works fine in any context. So this is a generic call. I'm going to use that. Now before I use this call in my code, I always prefer to use this inside my console just to see what's happening. I mean, just to print out if the API service is working fine or not. So now let's see if this returns anything. It doesn't return anything because the example.com is nothing. So I'll go back here. I'll copy this link, not this one. So let's read about the business that's going on in US nowadays. So business related news, right? So let's paste that here inside the URL. So we are going to just replace that URL, and this console.log is going to print out as a string what was inside JSON. Let's hope this works. Yeah, so it's working. So this thing works. Oh my god, this is big, so I'm not able to understand the JSON because it has become string now. So let's see what's inside that JSON. Okay, so here is our JSON and it's returning 20 articles. Status is okay. Total results is 70. So how this API service is working, I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at what is the form, or I mean, what are the various options that you can put inside it. But probably I'll try to guess how this is working. So this is working on HTTPS. This is the web URL name. This is the version 2. Now I was trying to fetch top headlines for country US, the query string. So this is the query string. Country is US and category is business and API key is this. So similarly, how the top headlines is there. So there would be a detailed report and there would be a search as well. For example, this was the Bitcoin thing. So here they were just querying the Bitcoin news from this date and they were sorting it by published at. So basically all the Bitcoin related news after this date sorted by published date and then getting that news. So this API server making it is a totally different task. It's not related to the front end stuff that we are doing right now, but just good to know. If you want to develop something serious using this website, you'll have to look inside the documentation here. But for now, I mean, it's fine. We just want to go through some of the basic news and just do our exercise, right? So as I saw, this was working fine. We are having 20 articles. Now I'm going to have look at just one of them. So each article contains the author, the content, the description, the published at, this is the date when it was published. Now we have the source for this and the name of the source. Okay, and we have the title for the news, the URL for that news, and URL for the image. So this is basically we can use this data to create the page where all this news is listed down. So it's so I'll create it. Okay, so yeah, first thing that I need to do, I need to copy this thing inside my code. So the best place to put this kind of code is here, component mount. So component mount fires only after a component has been mounted for the first time, and this is usually the best place to put fetch calls. Now we have our fetch put in place. Now what is this thing doing? This thing is printing out the JSON. we don't want that in our application, but for now let's just check it if it's working fine or not. So it didn't work. Let me see. Okay, so here we have our 20 articles. This is working because app.js line number 12 is printing this. Line number 12 is printing that. But we don't want to print it. What do we want to do is we want to put all these articles in our state, and then when we have them in the state, then we are going to display it. So to create state, let's create constructor first. We have our constructor. If any props are being passed, then let's super them. Super props. Next thing, state. So here we start with the state. This dot state equal to. Now what is the thing that we are going to put inside? Okay, here we were getting articles, so it's best to put articles inside the state, but we are just going to define them, not to actually put them. Articles array, it's going to be empty. Okay, so now here, instead of printing them out, let's use this dot set state to set the state and put all the articles inside. So my.json dot articles. So articles is the first thing that's coming inside the JSON, and where's the JSON? JSON is called my.json. So let's put my.json dot articles. Now we have something in the state. To see if we have something in the state or not, it's better to first check out if the state is getting set or not. To do that, either I can do console.log, but usually it's best practice to use the debugger. I am a big fan of using debugger all the time. So let's use this dot state first and then see if something is there. So initially that was okay. Initially the articles were empty in the state, and later on something came up. This error came. The articles were supposed to be injected inside the state, but they didn't came. The error came. Let's see why this error is there. Cannot read the property set state of undefined. Okay, so this is happening because this changes inside the then function. So that is why it's best to use arrow function nowadays. So earlier arrow function was not available. Arrow function is something that does not change the context. So if I'll use arrow, then this would be the same this that is available here inside. So now this is going to be the same as this. Earlier when we were using function, it was not. So for now, just don't worry about it. Just use the arrow function. Okay, here we have it. Awesome. So our component, the app component, is rendered 2 times. Initially the articles was an empty array, and after some time it's having 20 articles inside. So that is great. So let's go and now start to display something. Let's display the name of the article. So what I'm going to do, this dot state dot map function. Now map function is applied on an array, and because this dot state, this is going to be this dot state dot articles dot map. Now map function returns a function after it has executed, so it basically takes the function as argument, and I'm going to pass two things inside. So this index is just the iterator. It's just the iteration number. So index is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3. It will keep on increasing. And item is going to be the individual element inside the array. So we are iterating through our array here. Now let's see if we can print out something. So for example, I want to, as a headline, I want to display the headline of the article. And what is the headline? So this is the content, this is description, the title. I think title is going to be that thing that should be displayed on the top. So let's start to show the title. Again here, what should I put? So that is going to be item dot title. Is it going to work? I don't think this is going to work because, okay, yeah, it didn't work because it saw something unusual. I'll have to return this. Some good indentation should be there. Okay. Yeah. So now we should be having the articles. No, we have the titles of all the articles here now. Okay. So this doesn't look very beautiful. And why it's all centered? It's centered with, so we'll have to do some CSS change as well. Now we were using h2 tag, and the property for h2 tag is it's always centralized. So now let's try text align and see if we can. Yeah, so now if I use text align left, then it works, then all of the articles headlines align on the left. So I'm going to use that. Here let's put style equal to text align left. So all of these are going to be aligned on the left now, but still it doesn't look very beautiful. So we are not going to worry much about beauty right now. Let's focus more on just displaying whatever the data is coming from the API. Okay, what do we have next? So let's see. There are more things inside. There is title, then we have an image. So we have URL to image. So let's try to show the image as well. Okay, now this one is gone not. So return function can only return just one item, and because I want to put the image as well, so that is why I'm going to wrap this h2 element inside a div and also put an image next to h2 tab. Now what is going to be the source of that image? Now this should be item.image URL. And why do I know that? Because, okay, this is URL to image. Let's just copy that, paste that there. Let's see what happens. Okay, now we are getting all the images. Now these are also aligned. Some of these images are big, some of them are small. What I can do is I can put a size on them, a size limit on them. So their width is always going to be the 50% of the page. Now let's put a style tag, and then width is going to be always 50 VW. So VW is the view width. Yeah. So this is fine now. Okay. And these all are centralized. Then after that, maybe I want to put the content as well. So for that, I'm going to use the P tag. Now P must contain item.content. If you don't understand that how I'm putting this content and how do I know that this is going to be content, so I know that because I was looking at this here. So everything's available here. I just have to look inside and then see that if it's there, then read it. Otherwise, yeah, if you want to use something, it must be available here. Okay. Also, there's description, there's published at, there is author. So suppose I want to display the author as well. So after this, I can put a B tag. So B means bold, not in character, but in font. Okay. So what's going to be inside? That's going to be item.author. Now I'm not sure if this was capital A. No, it was small a. So now we have author as well displaying. Where did the author go? Okay. So here is the author. We are having trouble with this because we are not working on CSS now. But if we start work on CSS, then this website can look really great. Okay, one more thing I want to display, that is the A tag. Now read more. Okay, so I think, so this is just my assumption by looking at the data, that the URL is going to send us to the real news that is published inside businessinsider.com. Okay, so href item.url. So if we do this, then we'll have a read more. Yeah, so this read more is there. If I click on this, then I'll go to the real article where this news was there. So I think our news website is good enough for now. I mean, this works. Let's see how it looks in mobile. It looks bad, but not so bad. I mean, it can work. So yeah, you can look at this and create your own if you like. If you want to enhance that, then you'll have to do a lot of CSS work as well. So we can try to do that next time. And when we are complete, we can create a progressive web app for this. And that progressive web app would be your own news website. Sounds good? This is an exciting thing. So here in a video, I don't think it took much time, but we created a website which displays some of the news, and later on we can add a button for the source as well. So if you want to see the news for US or Britain or Japan or wherever, and whatever the business category is going to be. So this is all the news that is from America and for the business category. So great. If you have any questions regarding this, then you can contact me. Have a good day. Bye bye.